You.
All right, it is 6:30. Gang is all here. Let's call the meeting to order. Board of Public Health, Tuesday, March 1st. Good evening. So first thing up on the agenda is 56 Ledgewood Drive septic system from Morse Engineering.
Yes.
Hello.
Greg Morse. How are you?
Great, Greg. How are you?
Good.
I'm opening it up right now.
So yeah, it looks like Pam's driving the ship here. Good.
Yeah,
so,
let me I'll put it up a little bit bigger. It's a little small here.
Yeah, so for the record, Gregory Morse, I'm a registered engineer, Morse Engineering, representing the property owner at 56 Ledgewood Drive. This is a septic system repair project. The home recently failed a Title V septic inspection. So we prepared this plan in order to update the system in accordance with Title V. It's a 4-bedroom house that exists at the site today. What we've proposed is a 4-bedroom septic system. It's located in the backyard. It consists of a 1,500-gallon septic tank and a Presby EnviroSeptic leaching field. It's a gravity-fed septic system. It complies with all setbacks to property lines, setbacks to the building. We are seeking one local upgrade approval, though, and that is the use of a sieve analysis instead of the perk test. The soil was simply too wet to conduct the perk test on the day of the testing. So that is the only local upgrade approval we seek is the sieve analysis. I'd turn it over to you. Okay,
and the Presby system, is that something also we need to evaluate? Because of reducing the groundwater separation?
Sure. So with the Presby system, it is given, the DEP gives you the ability to reduce the size of the system up to 40%. It also gives you the ability to reduce the groundwater separation down to a 2-foot separation. We are taking those credits with this design. Those are credits as opposed to a variance or a local upgrade approval request.
Okay, got it. Okay, so we don't need to vote that then. Is that right, Pam?
No, but so you'll have 2 votes. One will be the local upgrade approval of the sieve analysis. The other one will be to approve the plan, and you're basically going to be approving that innovative alternative system that allows that. So it's kind of built into that second approval of the overall plan.
Okay. Robin, Lynn, questions?
No.
I don't have any questions.
Fairly straightforward, Lynn. Questions between your oatmeal?
No questions. No questions.
Okay, let me give it a try. I move that we approve the local upgrade request for 310 CMR 15.405I to allow sieve analysis for the determination of effluent loading rate in lieu of percolation tests.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Robin?
I move to approve the use of Presby drip leaching system that allows a reduction in the separation of estimated high groundwater from required 4 feet to 2 feet and a 36.8% reduction in field size.
Yeah, I don't think we need to vote on that part. So we just need the last motion for to approve the plan.
I move to approve the septic design plan for 56 Ledgewood Drive dated 2/3/22.
Okay. I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Very good. We have 6 minutes before the next one. Actually, it's all Morse today. All Morse all the time. Let's get some of the other items off the agenda. So let's approve the meeting minutes from the January 25th meeting. I had a chance to read through them this evening and they look right to me.
They look fine to me. I'll move we approve the meeting minutes from January 25th, 2022.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor of accepting the minutes from January 25th?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Let's look at the next meeting date. how does the queue look, Pam?
It's pretty empty right now. I mean, we ended up having a lot of stuff for this meeting. I think we could go another month, shoot for April 1st around what, I'm not sure how that falls out on day of the week, but
So I can't do the April 5th date. I could do a Wednesday. Is that true? Hold on. I could do Wednesday the 6th if that worked.
it seems fine to me.
Well, we could go to the next Tuesday.
Robin, we
Okay.
can't really hear you.
I think he said.
Go to the next Tuesday,
To the 12th.
which is 12, so that people don't have to scamper around with their schedules. Tuesday is usually a good day for our staff.
Okay. Tuesday the 12th. Does that work for people?
Works for me.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do that then. So 6:30 on Tuesday, April 12th. That in my calendar
It's 6:30.
at 6:30. Yep. Okay, let's keep going. Pam, can we get your report?
Let's see. I think the biggest thing is we're trying to get the Cook estate moving along. And so I had a meeting today to see if there's any way that the town could help not paying for the project, but help them finance it in the sense that they could pay like through betterments rather than having to go to a bank and borrow all that money. And at first town council didn't think that was possible because normally that happens when it's a town construction project. This is actually going to have to be a privately funded project, but we did explain all the difficulties that these people have been saddled with. So he is going to try to draft a memorandum that's going to give a step-by-step approach of how this could happen. So it's kind of to be determined still, but we're making some progress, I feel like.
What is the amount of funds that are required?
I'm not really quite sure yet, but one of the possibilities we looked into was using that old colony fund that people can use when they have to privately fund their own septic systems.
Mhm.
And it's just too much money. It would be more than $250,000, and they couldn't get that much money from that revolving loan fund. So still not really quite sure how it's going to work, but the lawyer is going to help us out and come up with some kind of plan. So that's an ongoing thing, and I'll keep you updated. But that's the biggest thing outside of, the mask thing that we'll be talking about later.
Right. That's great. Thanks, Pam.
Mhm.
Yeah, your report is robust every week, so we have a good sense of what's going on. All right. So I have 6:40 on my cell phone. So let's move to 808 Chief Justice Cushing Highway septic design plan. Greg?
Excellent. Great. Again, for the record, Gregory Morse, registered engineer, Morse Engineering, representing the property owner, 808 Chief Justice Cushing Highway, Todd Amalang Plumbing and Heating. This is a septic system design project to accommodate a new building at this property at 808 CJC Highway. This is the property. CJC Highway is at the bottom of the page. Brewster Road is on the left-hand side. There's an existing building at this site right now. The existing building has a septic system that has a capacity of 275 gallons per day. What our proposal is, however, is to take down that existing building and construct a new building in its place. That new building has been through the planning board process and the conservation stormwater process and has been reviewed and approved by both of those boards. So this new septic system is 679 gallons per day in size. It accommodates the new building, which is 1,985 square feet of office space, plus 4 tradesman bays in the building. The septic system, if you look at the site here, is located behind the building. It's on the right-hand side of the lot. It's kind of a long, skinny septic system for the leaching field. The septic tanks are located between the building and Route 3A in the parking area where the cursor is there. It's a 1,500-gallon septic tank, a 1,000-gallon septic tank, and a 1,000-gallon pump chamber. On this, we were seeking local upgrade approvals for the use of the sieve analysis because the soils were too wet to comply with a conventional perk test, and then a reduction in the groundwater separation from 4 feet to 3 feet. Both of those local upgrades can be granted in this case because we are not increasing the flow that exists at this site. It's actually a reduction from the 275 gallons that exists today to 269 is what we proposed. I'd turn it over to you.
And so
Gregory,
go ahead. Go ahead, Robin.
the entrance is off Brewster Road, is that correct?
There's going to be 2 entrances off of 3A. There's a single entrance into the site, and then onto Brewster Road is an entrance and an exit onto Brewster Road.
Okay.
Yep.
And I think this might be familiar to you guys because I think this was before well, at least Robin anyway. I think before I came on board, this plan had been before the board, and there was some controversy because here's the 400-foot setback line from Bound Brook, and I think Jason had some problems with the initial design, and now the leaching fields are completely out of it. So, you know, it's from here
Right.
to Bound Brook, and now the leaching field's out of it. So,
Yeah. I don't
Where is it?
think- Go ahead.
Where are the nearest residential buildings?
So
How close?
Sure. So the property immediately to the right of this, we abut the King Jewelers building on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, opposite on Brewster Road, is the Abington Pilgrim Savings Bank. At the top of the page is a commercially zoned lot, but it does have a single-family house on it.
Other questions?
Yes, this is Brian Buckley. I'm the resident of the building that is directly behind the property being
Sure.
discussed.
Yep. What's your address?
15 Brewster Road, Brian Buckley.
Okay, thank you.
So I reviewed the plans that were available and the documentation associated with it. There's a checklist saying that that it wasn't compliant with the law in terms of the depth that you mentioned earlier. Now, this area experiences a significant amount of flooding, and this system is not a closed system, is my understanding. Is that correct? It's not a
So-
tight tank system?
This is not a tight tank system. This is a septic tank, a pump chamber, and a leaching chamber system. The leaching system is located 3 feet above the seasonal high groundwater table. We conducted 4 test pits at this site. We had a Board of Health witness on site during soil testing for the process as well. This is not located in a flood zone.
I understand that's not in a flood zone, but there is, every time that there's a significant amount of precipitation, it does have surface water that stays there for potentially, a week or so. So with this type of system, should I be concerned that there would be wastewater leaking onto my land?
No. The existing site has no stormwater drainage on it whatsoever. This proposed site has all sorts of stormwater systems that have been designed into it, including crushed stone trenches along the parking lot, a pervious driveway surface, and rain garden areas. The septic system in this is located out behind the building. It's under a lawn surface. It's raised above the groundwater table. There would be no concern here with standing water.
So even with the changes in the property where there's basically a significant amount of space now covered by, surface structures that all that water is not gonna build up behind it and impact the property and raise the water table to impact this particular septic system?
That is correct. That was peer reviewed by the Conservation Commission. The town hired another engineer to review all of the stormwater calculations on this site on behalf of the town, and a stormwater permit was issued.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Buckley.
Could you just refresh for me, since I can't make it out, in terms of the topo map? Where's the high point and where does it go down? Does it go down toward the north? Toward the northeast?
Hold on just a moment. Let me open it on my own screen here so I can get a better view of it. Immediately behind the existing building at the site, there's a mound there currently that is a mounded septic system that was installed. From that mounded septic system, a significant portion of the site drains out toward either Brewster Road or Route 3A. However, in the eastern corner of the lot, there is a slight low point at that location. With the proposed grading, we're proposing a retaining wall along that northeast corner there. We're raising the grade there. We are making it so that the driveway pitches out toward Brewster Road and to 3A to the drainage systems. So that low point that exists today would not exist when this site is constructed. Instead, it's going to be pitched toward the street at that point in time.
Okay.
With the construction of the retaining wall.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Good discussion. Other questions? If not, can we get, so we have three motions to make, two local upgrade requests and then the design plan?
Oh, well, let me go at it again. 808 TJC Highway. Move to approve the local upgrade request to 310 CMR 15.405I to allow sieve analysis for the determination of an effluent loading rate in lieu of perk tests.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Lynn? You're muted.
Sorry. Yes, I.
Aye, great. Motion carries 3-0.
I move to approve local upgrade request for 310 CMR 15.405H.
I'll second that.
No, wait, let me
Oh,
finish.
you're
my
not done?
There's
To
more.
allow
Put yourself on mute.
reduction in the separation from the bottom of the SAS to estimated high groundwater from required 4 foot to 3 feet.
Now I'll second it.
Okay, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
I move to approve the septic system design plan for 808 CJC Highway dated 2/1/22, revised 2/22/22.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. And that closes the discussion on 808 Chief Justice Cushing Highway. And now we can switch to 317 North Main Street.
Great. Again, for the record, Gregory Morse, registered engineer, representing Ken Snow, the property owner at 317 North Main Street. This is a septic system upgrade project. You can see North Main Street at the top of the page. The property line is the bold black line. The property is an existing home located at the front of the lot up near North Main Street. It has a failed cesspool in the backyard. The proposal here is to construct a new septic system in its place. It's a 3-bedroom septic system. Due to the proximity of Sanctuary Pond, which is The dashed line that runs through the site represents the 400-foot setback to that, or the nitrogen sensitive zone in the town of Cohasset bylaw. Due to that proximity, what we've proposed is a micro-fast denitrification tank, a pump chamber, and then a geoflow drip dispersal system located in the backyard. This is a DEP compliant system. It does require one local upgrade approval, and that is for use of a sieve analysis instead of the perk test. Again, the soils were too saturated to conduct a perk test at this site, so we did the sieve analysis in its place. This is not new construction. It's an upgrade of a failed cesspool. We turn it over to you.
Thank you. Do we need to approve the FAST system and the GeoFlow drip leaching system?
So when you actually approve the plan itself, that's kind of part of the approval.
Okay.
You know, it's to approve the plan and the
And the upgrade
IA
request.
system that allows those credits.
Got it. So it's just the motion for the upgrade request and the septic design plan.
Right.
Okay. Other questions, Robin or Lynn?
No?
Robin, any questions?
Nope. I move that we approve a local upgrade request for 310 CMR 15.405I to allow the use of sieve analysis for the determination of effluent loading rate in lieu of a percolation test.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0.
We
Thank
say
you very much. Have a good night.
No, we haven't finished yet.
We got one more.
Do we need to approve the use of the fast
No.
treatment system? Since there's a reduction, from 4 foot to 2 feet?
Nope, we just need the septic plan.
Okay, move that we approve the SAS design plan for 317 North Main Street, dated 2/14/22, revised 2/28/22.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0. Now we're done.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, it's 6:53, so we have 7 minutes before we get to the well permit. Is Mary here?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
Sorry. Great, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm hiding behind the camera.
That's fine. I hear you. I get it. Can we
Yeah.
get your report?
So you get my reports every week. Other than what I put in the reports, just a couple of things. You see the numbers are dropping down nicely. Our positivity rate was 3.64 last week, so that's good. This week, it looks like our number will be closer to 9, so that'll bring that down closer to 2. So we're really in good shape with that. The other thing is I have 100 doses of Moderna vaccine in the freezer at the senior center. So we're going to give it one more try to get rid of that. So we're going to have a clinic on March 12th. It's a Saturday, 11 to 1, and just see if we can, I hate to waste that. So, and there's not a lot of demand for it. Other towns don't seem to be interested. So we're going to try to vaccinate people. So we'll do first, second, or booster doses, and we'll see how it goes. So that's a Saturday, March 12th. And other than that, I'm already looking at flu for next year. I've secured my vaccine for next year. And that's about it, unless you have questions.
How, so in terms of this, the doses that are remaining, how you advertise that somewhere?
Yeah, so it's on the town website. It is on the Facebook page. It's on Cohasset 143. And then we also reached out to Hingham and Hull to let them know that we have it. So they put it up. I know Hull put it up on their website yesterday. So.
Well, no, I don't. I'm just surprised because looking at the vaccination stats for the town, the booster numbers are not great, right?
Right.
We have people that are fully vaccinated and not a whole lot of boosters. So I wonder, I don't know how else to.
Yeah, and so that's kind of our target group, right? Those people that aren't boosted. That's why we chose to go on a Saturday, because, weekdays don't work for a lot of people. And we did an evening clinic. We didn't have a good response to that. So that's why we thought we'd try Saturday to capture that group. But that is the hardest part, is to get the word out.
Interesting
Yeah.
that the data indicates that the over 75-year-old group is not as boosted as well as the younger group.
Mhm.
How do we reach that over 75 group, or is there any?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I used to have pretty good luck with the Mariner, but not so much anymore. Well, I could try to get something in the Mariner this week, because they really want it like 2 weeks before you have to get it to them. I'll actually get that to them tomorrow and see if they'll put it in the Mariner. Because I think that 75-year-old group, they read the Mariner. But I don't have any other good ideas on how to market it.
I have a question about a second boost. MGH sent out a missive indicating that individuals with a impaired immune system should consider a second boost. What's your information on that?
Yeah, so the way that works is people who have a compromised immune system should actually be getting a third dose. So a half a cc, which would be a third dose, and then 5 months later, boost that. So they're really saying the booster that those people may have gotten doesn't count. You want to get them a third dose, and then you want to boost that third dose. So you're looking months out.
Based upon my reading, indicating 3 months after your
Robin, I can't really hear you. Can you speak up a little bit?
3 months after your third dose, which would be the boost, you should consider, if you have an impaired immune system, you should consider a fourth dose, which would be a second boost. Is that?
No. So what they're basically saying is you get your primary series, your first dose and your second dose. That booster dose that you then got really doesn't count. They want you to get a third dose and then boost the third dose. So it ends up being 4 doses, but because people don't seem to respond to that half, the booster is only half a dose. So they want you to get a full dose at dose number 3 and then boost number 3. It's confusing. It's very confusing. And that's the Moderna.
Right.
And that's really the only one I pay attention to, because that's what we have. But Pfizer has some different rules. They're the same though with boosting and people who are compromised. So
So individuals who receive the Moderna as a boost, should they be thinking about another boost? That's the question.
yeah, if they're compromised, what they should be thinking about is a third dose, a full dose. And then 3 months later, you boost that third dose.
So they could presumably have 5 doses then? 5?
Yeah. So basically what they're saying is negate that initial booster dose. That's not working. They're saying, give them another full dose and then boost that. So yeah, it would come out to be 5 doses, but.
Okay.
So Mary,
It's
I have-
it's constantly changing though. Even the intervals. I was on a call today, the intervals between, the doses. I have to have a chart now to figure it out. It's gotten really complicated.
I mean, maybe that's all. I mean, yes, I think that's probably the data is changing all the time, right? We're understanding more and
Yeah.
more. I did have one thought, which is I wonder if we could reach out to the local churches and have them like make it known that this is happening.
Sure.
When did you say we were going to have it?
It's March 12th, so I could email them tomorrow. That's a good idea too. I can email the churches. I used to do that with flu.
Hmm.
And would put it either, like in their bulletin or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just,
yeah.
Great. All right. Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
Okay, 7 o'clock, 10 Ocean Ledge Drive for a well permit extension request. Who do we have to speak to this?
Ryan Conley under 792 Jerusalem Realty Trust. We're looking to extend the permit due to conservation stormwater approval delay and building permit delay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so under our Cohasset private well regulations, if somebody wants to request an extension, they're allowed to have one extension. It's for 6 months. And they just need to put it in writing to the Board of Health, and that's what we have up on the screen. Ryan prepared this letter, just explaining that due to delays from building and Concom, they need another 6 months. And so if you did extend it, it expires, I think it's March 15th. So it would be extended to September 15th.
Okay.
July, August. Yep, September 15th.
Okay. Seems reasonable to me. Seems kind of pro forma. Any questions or comments, Robin or Lynn?
No.
Okay, then I'll make the motion to extend the well permit at 792, at 10 Ocean
Ocean.
Ledge Drive. Yes, so extending it out to September 15th, 2022.
I'll second.
I'll second that.
Okay, great. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Good luck with your building project.
All
Wait,
right, thanks.
Ryan, before you leave, can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
So,
sure.
It's a total, this is a personal question, not a Board of Health question, but I live at 729 Jerusalem Road. And
Okay.
it hasn't happened in a while, but I was getting a lot of your mail, but I could not figure out where to drop it.
Oh, okay.
So where is 792? That's my question, because I assume that's where I should find a mailbox, as opposed to returning it to the sender.
Yeah, so 792 doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, that would be why I couldn't find it.
Yeah. So I think you might want to forward it to 214 Atlantic Ave.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Just because it's a pain to, send it
Yeah,
back.
all
you.
those houses up there changed address to Ocean Ledge.
Okay,
You still have the addresses that front on Jerusalem, like
Mhm.
792A and
yeah,
and so on. But yeah, everything's changed up there.
yeah. So for the life of me, I couldn't figure out. I'm like 792. So whoever put the address in must have just.
Just leave it
The
in the
two and
crack
then
in the
I-
concrete there where you think. it should be.
All right, thank
Somebody
you.
will get it.
All right, no problem.
Excellent. I love small town.
Right.
Make sure that's in the record, Amy.
Perfect.
Very good. Thank you. All right. So 7:05. So to talk about the face covering, the mask mandate. So we're bringing this up for a number of reasons. One is talking about the latest updates from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. I'm hearing feedback. Can someone turn off everyone mute if you're not talking? Thanks. So one is the CDC guidelines that have changed and been updated. The second is the state changing its guidelines. The third being, in addition, the school district is now, as far as I know, I don't know what the outcome of the school committee vote was, but I believe all the school system is now mask optional. So, and then Pam, you put together some slides. You want to talk? Can you talk through those and bring the conversation? You're muted, Pam.
Thank you. Right, the Mass DPH just changed their face covering advisory. So now it says fully vaccinated should wear a mask indoors if you have a weakened immune system, you have an increased risk due to age or an underlying medical condition, or someone in your household has a weakened immune system or is at risk, increased risk for disease, or is unvaccinated. So basically this means that if you're fully vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask indoors, but only under these certain conditions that you're advised to. And then not fully vaccinated people still should wear a mask indoors to prevent spread to others. And everyone should wear a mask indoors in transportation and medical settings. They revised this slightly today only because the CDC changed the rules on school buses. So their advisory now says everyone should wear a mask in some transportation and medical settings, but basically it's still the same thing. And then in a similar manner, the CDC, they actually kind of switched over. They have a little bit different metrics that they use compared to DPH. Theirs based on county risk levels. Now, originally when we had our local order, we based it on the CDC's risk levels, but those were transmission levels. And our state epidemiologist said, recently we're saying like, that's not really a very good way to use a metric, because she was saying like, it's a super conservative way that they were calculating it and everybody was in red and it's really difficult to get out of red. So CDC actually just changed this. So their county risk levels now are based on case numbers and hospitalizations and hospital capacity, which helps in Massachusetts because we obviously have a lot more hospitals and capacity than places like in the middle of the country and stuff. So now they have these low, medium, and high risk categories. And suddenly Massachusetts went from being red everywhere to now low and medium risk everywhere. And Plymouth and Norfolk counties are both low, I believe. Yeah, they're both low. And so if you're in a low risk category, they have no recommendation anymore for mask wearing. With the exception that everybody should wear a mask indoors on public transportation, or if they've tested positive or have symptoms. So this again explains it a little bit more. In Plymouth and Norfolk County are now low.
Makes a lot of sense to me, right? So
Right.
the thinking right now about it mattering less about the case numbers and more about the impact on on general public health.
Right. Right.
This is,
I mean, everything changed really with the Omicron, where it was much more transmissible, but seemed to be less severe disease-wise. So we had a lot more cases. Like if you look at our graphs that we had for the town, I mean, we really spiked up in January, but people ended up in the hospital. And I mean, not only do we have the vaccines, but there's also now, the medicines to treat it and everything. So it's a much different landscape than it was a year ago.
Mhm.
And then again, as we're kind of all talking about earlier, in terms of being fully vaccinated, the town of Cohasset is doing great, but the boosting could be a little bit better probably. But still overall, I mean, the picture looks pretty good.
do they ever talk about whether a booster is going to be what's required to be considered fully vaccinated?
I thought they did say that you had to be boosted to be fully vaccinated. No?
They
Not
still
at
haven't,
this point.
the way they've changed the wording is they say, are you up to date, as opposed to fully vaccinated? Terminology is up to date. So.
Okay, so these numbers that say boosted, this is the percent up to date, assuming that there's folks are 6 months past their second dose, right? So overall, when you think about being up to date, these numbers are not awesome.
Well, like the 5 to 11-year-olds, obviously they're not even qualified to get boosted. So
Right. They're not there yet.
Yeah, but they're doing pretty well, considering they haven't really had it that long.
So if you look at the 12 to 15, right, the 32% boosted is of all 12 to 15-year-olds, or only 32% of those fully vaccinated?
That's a good question.
It's got to be the ones that are fully vaccinated, right? Because you wouldn't be boosted if you didn't get the vaccine.
Right. But then
But
they're really low when you think
I
about it.
wonder if part of that though is the fact that they got it less than 5 months ago. A lot of them, maybe they're not even eligible to be boosted yet.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's probably more like the 20 to 29-year-olds, like, they're the ones that kind of need to really pick it up.
Yeah. Whatever. So, whatever we decide in this conversation tonight, I would suggest that, we transmit the information to the town by way of the COVID website, like we've done in the past. But we should also really drive home this point about the need for being boosted.
Mhm.
And what the eligibilities are to be boosted, and et cetera, et cetera. So people know generally, but it can just remind people that, hey, look, we were doing great until, really we're into this, we're past the point where we should have a lot more people that are boosted in town to be fully up to date. And so therefore, encouraging people to, review the guidelines for how long after their second dose, and then encourage them to go.
I think that's a good idea.
I mean, and so the other reason that we just, thank you, Pam, for these slides. The other reason that we brought this up is that there were conversations around town department heads about relaxing, because we in our mask in our town health order, we said that basically that departments could make decisions based on their realities on the ground. And the general gist was they were talking about, relieving it. Like, for example, the fire department, for example, where you don't have where you're people in non-public facing spaces, for example. So all these things are sort of adding up to us sitting here now thinking about, do we rescind our mask mandate, considering what the CDC has said, what the state DPH has said, and DESI and everyone else is, our guidelines are far stricter than is recommended by the government. So, thoughts from anybody?
I think it makes sense that, right, the CDC recommendations in terms of, or the low hospitalizations.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like everybody has lifted the mask mandate.
Yeah. Which isn't, that's not necessarily the reason to do it, except that, when you look at our mask mandate, it only really applies to municipal buildings, which is a small fraction of public spaces in town anyway. And most of the departments wanted to undo it anyway.
Right.
So there's nothing to say that we couldn't, basically rescind the public health order, and then still remind people, hey, if you're not vaccinated or you're not feeling well or blah, 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 like insert list of things here, you should wear a mask. And you can, and the other thing that we're doing at Northeastern is some of the campuses where masks are no longer required, is to make it clear that we're supportive of people who decide they want to wear a mask, right? So we, to make sure that people are, they feel comfortable and they don't be made to feel uncomfortable if they decide to wear a mask.
Right. There was a woman today from DESI on our DPH call who was emphasizing that in schools, saying even though we've rescinded the mask order, they still want to make sure that anybody's comfortable whether they choose to wear it or they don't choose to wear it. Nobody should be picked on or anything.
I think you need a statement, a caveat that speaks to people who have immune systems that are compromised. Make sure that it's quite clear that they should be wearing a mask indoors.
You could use the strongly recommended language.
Yeah, strongly recommended.
So, Chief, since you're here, did you want to weigh in on this? Or you're here to?
Yeah, I'm here. to be honest, I turned on the news tonight to see that the city of Boston is pulling the mask mandate as of the 5th. So I think that, using the metrics that are out there in regards to everybody being in the green and how well we've done with our vaccinations and everything else, I certainly would support you guys in the thought process that, maybe, we continue to monitor. It's very simple. I've talked to Mary and I've talked to Pam about this, that as long as things continue in the direction that they're headed, then, we all want our freedom back, I guess, is what I would say. So I would support you in that thought process that, we would head in that other direction, but we gotta hedge our bet also that, it's one of those things, wear a mask if you feel that you should. And it really, the way I look at things, the CDC went from their mantra of you wear your mask to protect others to you now wear a high quality mask to protect yourself. So if you feel that you're in jeopardy, then you should continue to wear your mask. And I had the fortune of actually going to the city on Sunday and going to a show for the first time in 3 or 4 years. And everybody had a mask on. Everybody's vaccine card was checked, but it was fun. So, if we continue to go by the metrics and let the data tell us what to do, I for one, as the incident commander of this 2-year evolution, I would be very happy to support the board with whatever they decide to do.
Thank you. So my inclination is to move to lift the public health order effective, I don't know, tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we have to communicate it somehow. I mean, we can do it on Twitter for that matter. You can
Yeah.
get the word out. But
Well, we also have that PR company, Guilfoyle,
Mhm.
and so we can have them do like a press release, and then we can have them post it like everywhere.
I would love to actually, though, also add in those other details about boosters are coming, but you should still get boosted. Here are our numbers and are being up to date. The numbers aren't awesome. Here's, encourage that and encourage people to wear masks for, if they're immunocompromised, if they have, right? So we don't need to vote
just
on
take the stuff right off those slides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great, I don't think we need to vote on that part. We do need to vote on lifting the order.
Okay.
Very quickly, Mr. Chairman, also just let you know that we postponed our staff meeting today, waiting to see what the board was going to do tonight. So we can dial up a staff meeting first thing tomorrow through the HR department and also get the message out.
Okay, that's great. That's true. Actually, the order really does affect the town buildings.
Right.
That's. So anyone like to make a motion to this extent? I will. I'd like to allow me to make a motion. I will move to raise to lift the mask mandate and public health order that we put into place on the date, whatever the date was, effective tomorrow, March 2nd.
I'll second that.
Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Fantastic.
So I'll contact Matt Reed from Guilfoyle, and I'll tell him what we just did, and I'll give him like a little draft, and he'll pull it together, make it look like a press release.
Okay. Terrific.
Awesome.
Great. Thanks. Excellent. So that's it for our agenda tonight.
I'm sorry, I do have one other thing I just want to show you guys quickly.
Mhm.
I do have a job description. I told everybody in our little group that I would share it with you guys just to get your blessing. It'll take a second. So let me just pull it up on the screen, share my screen. So hopefully you've been reading my weekly summaries, and this grant was a little controversial, and it was like not even clear if we were going to like stay in it, but eventually everybody agreed if we just hired one person, really, that it could be helpful. And nobody has an epidemiologist. This is like a new concept that I think with the whole COVID thing, everybody kind of realized it could be helpful in some circumstances. So here is our job description and basically what would have the epidemiologist do: investigate communicable diseases, review trends in both Cohasset, Hingham, and Hull, and using whatever tools they have, things like it says census data, statewide reportable disease data, analyze for clusters and patterns to help in prevention and intervention activities. So one of their main things would be to do education. And so we're thinking in education and things like ticks. Tick-borne diseases is huge. Skin cancer is pretty high in all these beach towns, and do education on that kind of stuff. What else? Let's just see.
Do we put in there that the individual should be in constant contact with the public health nurses et al. In each community?
Yeah,
don't
so
want this
basically this person is technically a Cohasset employee because we are the main town in the grant. So they'd fall under me, but yeah, I mean, they would definitely be working with the nurses from all 3 towns for sure. And I might have them do a few inspections as well. Like the camp inspections primarily fall to the nurses. And so with their background, they could potentially help us with stuff like that. We also have other things like body works that we don't really get to very much. And, we could just help alleviate a little bit of load on that kind of stuff too. There is something called the community needs assessment. And I think maybe I was thinking that they would do that for each town. This is like a job description was put together for other regional groups, and they have this, it says update the regional community needs assessment. I think we might have them do a community needs assessment for each town. We'll see. And basically provide Maven coverage. Like Hingham only has a part-time nurse. If their nurse goes on vacation, this person could step in and cover Maven for them when they're out. So we'll kind of also figure it out on the run. I mean, as we're doing it too, since nobody's ever had an epidemiologist before, but it'd be kind of exciting to get this new position in there. So we're kind of just starting small, and we'll just start off with 1 employee and see how that whole regional work works, sharing a person. We've never done it before, and it was a little too daunting thinking of hiring multiple people to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So this is what we have so far.
This is great. So none of the Hingham, Hull, or Cohasset have had an epidemiologist, but are there other towns in the state that do?
They don't, but there's probably about, I don't even know, 4 to 6 groups that are looking for an epidemiologist right now. I'm thinking it would probably be somebody that recently got their master's degree in public health, and we could use schools like the BU School of Public Health to maybe help us find people.
Got it. The only reason I'm asking is sometimes looking at other people's job descriptions can be helpful.
Yeah, this actually came from, I think it's called the Norfolk 8 is a group. Yeah, they have 8 communities together that have the same job description. But yeah, so we'll put this out relatively soon, like maybe even next week, and see if we get any bites.
Terrific. That's exciting.
So anyway, I just
Thank
wanted
you.
to share that with you.
Yeah,
That's
thank
it
you.
for me.
Great. Anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will second that motion to adjourn.
All
All in
right.
favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned 3-0. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank
Bye.
you all. Bye.
That you're interested.